ladies and gentlemen, to Fight Night Presents the Gauntlet Podcast, a place for kayfabe and kicking ass meet square one-on-one in the ring. I'm your host, Mr. Nix, and tonight our main focus is the Fight Night Champions. And I'm starting out with two amazing guests. We have the Fight Night Women's Alpha Species Champion, the Black Queen, Sammy Black. And we have the Fight Night World Heavyweight Champion and one half of the Fight Night Instant Classic Tag Team Champions, the Ultimate Heel, the Cryptic Kyle Story. Now let's go ahead and jump right in the action. Our first interview up, the Black Queen. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. I am here on call with the Fight Night Women's Alpha Species Champion, the Black Queen herself, Sammy Black.
Good evening, Justin.
What's happening, Sammy? How are you?
Good, how are you?
Not too bad. I wanted to thank you for being the very first guest here on Fight Night Presents the Gauntlet podcast.
You're very welcome.
Okay, so I had a few questions, really encompassing your entire EFED career so far. First off, how does it feel to be one of the most dominant Alpha Species champion in fighting? I mean, you are one of the two only women's Alpha Species champion, and so far you've had the longest reign.
I had the longest reign because I am the top bitch here. It feels right. The championship belt is exactly where it belongs, which is around my waist.
Okay. Now, do you see, any real challenges, any real contenders in Fight Night so far?
It's been a little slow. The huggable one's given me the most challenge, I think, but everybody else is pretty easily slaughtered.
Okay. Now, what are some of the influences that helped you create the Black Queen persona?
Wrestling-wise, I have Paige is what I based my look off of with the dark makeup. Persona-wise, the Black Queen is based off of a Queen song called The March of the Black Queen.
Okay, and then we all know that you are a gigantic fanatic of Queen and Freddie Mercury.
Yes.
And since you become part of many EFEDs on Facebook, Fight Night, Revolution, HCW, IW, among others, how did you get into the EFED game?
Okay, so most people in Fight Night know that Kyle and I are good friends in real life.
Yeah,
he's my best friend. Mm-hmm. He was the one that got me into the EFED game. Before that, I was part of a different role-playing group. It was written, so naturally doing the video promos is what happened next.
Okay, and I have to say, we love you here in Fight Night, and you were probably one, if not the most popular female in the locker room.
Aw, you flatter me.
I mean, well, you have many underlings who sit there and just stare at you and go, "Aw."
Those are my fanboys.
Yes, you have many of those. A few quick ones are Maverick and the one and only Australia.
It's my newest one.
Yeah. So I wanted to ask you a question. As some people do know, I do run the Hounds of Doom. How do you feel about being accepted when you were accepted as the 5th member of the Hounds of Doom? How did you feel?
To be honest, it was pretty overwhelming coming into Fight Night. You know that the Hounds are the ones that run the place. And I guess it was only natural for them to want me after seeing me beat the shit out of Allison Black.
That's true. You did make quite a statement, I must say, whenever you did take her down. So now speaking of battles, you have an upcoming battle where you were originally supposed to take on Australia, But due to the events on Monday Night Fight Night where you walked away hand in hand with him, you are now teaming with him to face the World Heavyweight Champion Kyle Story, your best friend, and Raw booking. How do you have any words for them? How do you feel about that match taking place?
Kyle knows how I feel about him right now. We've had our words both in the locker room and at the ring. The only thing I have to say is I'll bring the paperwork and he can go and sign the fucking divorce papers.
Okay, I guess that's a you take your collar, I'll take my collar, fuck off kind of statement.
Yep.
Okay, and I do have one final question for you. On Monday Night Fight Night in Charlotte, North Carolina, you are defending your Women's Alpha Species Championship in a battle royal. How do you feel about that?
I feel good. I think that we got some new people I haven't really faced. I faced the Staten Island Princess once, and I've seen her kicking ass, so I'm looking forward to beating the fuck out of all these girls.
Okay. I have to say thank you again for being the first guest on the Gauntlets, and thank you for your time. Do you have any final words for everyone here at Fight Night?
Neil.
Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. From the Black Queen herself, Neil, in her presence. I want to thank you guys all.
Open up my eyes, saving what's been broken, wasting all this time.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. I'm here on call with the Fight Night World Heavyweight Champion and the new two-time Instant Classic Tag Team Champion, the Ultimate Heel, the Cryptic Kyle Story.
What's up, Mr. Nix and Fight Night Universe?
How's your day going so far, Story?
It's good.
Okay.
It's always good to be a champ.
So I have a few questions for you. What got you into wrestling, period? I mean, what got you into, like, the sport of professional wrestling?
Well, it all started, my dad, he always tried to get me and my brother to watch wrestling with him. We were always outdoors, so it was, TV was the last thing on our minds. My earliest memory of wrestling is my dad watching Clash of Champions, Ric Flair versus Steamboat. That's the earliest memory I can remember, but I still didn't follow it yet. And I do know it was 1994, the Raw before King of the Ring, when I started paying attention. He had it on TV, and Shawn Michaels and Diesel were beating down Bret Hart. It was a build-up to the pay-per-view. And from that moment on, I was hooked. And we ordered the pay-per-view that Sunday, and that's where it became. I was already a Shawn Michaels fan by that point and an Owen Hart fan. So that's my earliest memory, and ever since that day, I haven't been able to look away.
Okay, that's awesome. Owen Hart actually is one of my favorite wrestlers of all time. Now, what got you into e-fetting on Facebook?
Well, I actually kind of stumbled across it on accident. I was watching NXT one night, and I thought, I'm not a part of any group for NXT or WWE at that. So I actually started searching Facebook groups for NXT, and that's where I came across NXT Revolution. So I joined, and I thought, at first it was just, regular fan group. But then when I started exploring it, I was intrigued to what I found. Stuff that I'd seen before. So I had to do a little research, figure out what's going on, but that's really the only story. I mean, of course, I didn't know what I was doing at first. Everyone knows my history with that. But, that was basically it. And then I've been hooked on that, too.
Okay, see, that was how, probably the exact same way I found the Revolution was I basically stumbled upon it on Facebook just searching for groups because, like you, I wasn't really part of that many WWE groups or wrestling groups at all on Facebook.
Right, yeah. Neither was I. I was part of a few of, like, some of the fan sites, but they got annoying, so I just never really followed them, so.
Yeah, they kind of flood
Never
you
in
with
any
pictures after a certain amount of time.
Yeah.
Okay, so I have another question. How does it feel to be the very first Fight Night exclusive signee?
Well, the question is, how does it feel to have me as your first exclusive signing?
Well, so far, just from my perspective, you've been outstanding. You've really turned up the notch since you first debuted over in the Revolution, and I must say you've become one of our main event players.
Awesome. Yeah, I mean, I'm honored to be that. You know, after I came out of Revolution, I found Fight Night, and I started here. And basically, as I started rolling here, other people are contacting me, come over here, and I'm a busy guy, so I don't have a lot of time, and, and that's when I was approached to be the first ever Fight Night exclusive, and I didn't hesitate. I took the deal. I didn't think about it, and definitely proud to be the first, and hopefully start the trend where the company can have more than just me as an exclusive. So.
Yeah, well, I'm very proud of you so far. Now, what are some influences that help craft the ultimate heel persona?
Well, ever since I was young, wrestling, movies, TV shows, whatever, I was always a fan of the villain. Except for the governor and Walking Dead. I hate that piece of shit. But almost everything I've watched, I've been a fan of the villain, and I kind of just crafted, this. I've crafted from, some of the top heels like CM Punk, Owen Hart, a little bit of Stone Cold heel. It didn't last long, but basically just studying the greats that have, paved the way for the heel role in, the business. So basically that's what I do. There's some movies that I pulled from, just kind of, dig a little deeper. But it's all about research.
Okay. Now, as the Fight Night World Heavyweight Champion and the two-time Instant Classic Tag Team Champion, who would you like to face on the Fight Night roster? Who do you think you'd have an amazing match with?
CG Wood.
Okay.
That would be the first on my list. There's other people. Yeah, the prestigious one. Him and his Golden Rose. I know he's going to be eager. He's already made some comments about wanting a piece of the Ultimate Heel and a shot at that title, so maybe sometime soon that'll happen. But, there's other guys. Maverick, I'd like to work with him. Just had my biggest match and win last weekend with Australia. So that was definitely on my list, and I didn't expect it to come as soon as it did. So, I also would like to get in the ring with my tag team partner. We've never faced each other. Right now, we're tag champs, so it could happen. You never know. But there's also, we got our newcomers like Tim, Touchdown Tim, and MS Payne, and I can name names all night.
Oh, that's true. Now, going back to your tag team partner, now that is kind of funny. Now, there was one person between it because it traded place from Master Killer to Madman Joe, and then to you. And then Master Killer didn't really technically get his rematch. So do you think he's going to be turning his head, even though that he's your tag team partner, he's going to be turning his head to you going, hey, I kind of want that title back?
Yeah, it hasn't been brought up yet, but I know there's going to be a point down the road when, the new of our becoming two-time tag champion wears off a little bit, and he's just like me. We both crave to be the best and hold gold. So, and when that comes down the line, I'll handle it the best way.
Okay. Now, I have one last question for you before I have to let you go. What is your next goal here in Fight Night? What is, your next mission statement?
My goal? Well, there's two. I've already accomplished two, which was become the first millionaire and to become heavyweight champion. So that, had broadened my horizons, and now I definitely know my two goals is, one, be the longest reigning Fight Night World Heavyweight Champion, and two, headline and main event Wrestle Destiny in September. So that would be my two main goals right now.
Okay. Yeah, see, we did just announce that Wrestle Destiny this September is actually going to be at the infamous Madison Square Gardens. So that would be an amazing thing for you to do. And basically the only one to ever do it so far would be the main event. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, be the first, that's cement in history, so.
That's true, but there's also the Road to Destiny tournament you're going to have to deal with, so.
True, yeah, that's coming quick.
Yes, that's just a few months away. But, Kyle Stora, I want to thank you for your time in this interview and being the second interviewee for the Gauntlet podcast.
You're welcome.